So I was going to do movies I watched this month, but I watched over 30, and that's a lot to talk about, and my videos that are over an hour long are not filmed in one day. They are filmed in Spider-Man took me over a month to film. I've watched over 30 movies this month, and I feel like it would be a little excessive to talk about that, so I'm gonna do my top 10 films of 2021 instead. And I decided to do this instead of another Spider-Man related thing, because I could talk about Spider-Man for years, honestly. But, I've made 4 videos on Spider-Man in this month, and 3 of them are on the same movie, and 1 of them is over an hour and a half long, so I feel like this is a nice little break of pace. I have some films of 2021 behind me, not these 2. These ones are because, like, actors or they're part of franchises that are in other films. I don't know. Like, I got Silence, which is Andrew Garfield, who was in Tick, Tick, Boom. Spider-Man Trilogy and Spider-Verse because of Spider-Man. Lady Bird because of Timothée Chalamet, Titanic because of Leonardo DiCaprio, and these 2 are then Quiet Place 2 and No Way Home. Then these 2, well, it's okay. I'm done. That's pretty self-explanatory. Roll intro, and then I'll start off with my number 10. So my number 10 goes to a film that is my dearest beloved, Godzilla vs. Kong. I've only seen one other MonsterVerse movie, which is King Kong Skull Island. I don't think I've even seen any Godzilla movie completely. But this movie was so fun to watch. It is not even an hour long, which I absolutely appreciate, because some versus movies are a little excessive. This one, like Freddy vs. Jason, it was just a great versus movie, and it was super satisfying to watch King Kong get beaten by Godzilla, and Godzilla get beaten by King Kong. I do recommend this film if you're looking for a turn your brain off movie, because this movie, if there's a year that I had to choose, like, I saw this movie, this is a movie you see in the theater. I think I'm going to cover the MonsterVerse when more things come out, because it was left on a cliffhanger, and it was actually really well shot, and there's some beautiful cinematography. Like, even just the poster itself, it is one of the best shot, like, CGI-focused movies of this year, which I appreciate completely. Considering that it's just 2 big CGI animals fighting each other, this film's gorgeous. I mean, come on, the Neon City fight scenes? I do recommend this film for its cinematography, and I really hope it gets nominated for an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, because this is high up there. This, Dune, No Way Home. Oh, Dune's not on this list because I did not enjoy it that much, but Godzilla vs. Kong, great film. Then, I think, yeah, just last night, I watched Don't Look Up. This was probably one of the top 3 most anticipated films, because I love Leonardo DiCaprio, hence Titanic. I've never seen Titanic, but, like, I've seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Inception, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Django Unchained, I know I'm not saying it right, Wolf of Wall Street, The Revenant, just all that stuff. He's such a great actor. And if I don't want to review this one because it is very politically heavy, and I really did not feel comfortable talking about West Side Story because of the politics about that story, and so I'm just going to talk about it briefly here. So, I'm not the biggest fan of Jonah Hill. I don't like Jonah Hill. Yeah, no. He pisses me off, and I'm so glad that they underused him, because it's so easy to just get lost in writing for a character, and he is one of the actors that once he's in a movie, he's in it too much. This movie didn't utilize him well. This movie pissed me off just the right amount, and yes, it does have weird editing. It is unnecessarily satirical at some moments. I was not expecting it to be a comedy considering the source material about the world literally ending, but it does have the biggest Netflix cast, and this does feel like a higher tier Netflix original. If you're like considering other Netflix originals like Marriage Story and The Irishman, I don't think you can say that. Like, this movie cannot be compared to those ones. but it is something different, and it was nice to see Leonardo DiCaprio back. Of course, he's the highlight of this film. There's one freakout scene at a news station that happens later on, and whenever there's a Leonardo DiCaprio freakout scene, it is incredible. Some parts actually made me laugh a lot. I wasn't expecting to laugh at this, but it wasn't. I don't know. I liked it more than some people. Carson Runquist, 24 Frames of Nick. I don't know. I like this movie more than Dune. Wait a minute. Then we got A Quiet Place Part 2. So the first time I reviewed this, I shouldn't say it like that. When I reviewed this, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. It is not. I think on Letterboxd I gave it a 3.5 stars, which is a 7 out of 10. Roughly the equivalent, maybe 7.5. I'm not sure. But I don't know. It's just, thinking about it, the ending, which is why Candyman was not on here either. The ending is just so, like, abrupt, it does not work. This film is definitely one of the most beautifully shot horror films. It does have a great, it does have some great sequences, some super edgy or seat horror, but it doesn't have the same writers as the original, and it just takes advantage of what the first one did, and it does not work to its fullest. But it's definitely sequel syndrome, so that's not good. But yeah, it's just, it could have been better, could have been worse. Then Cruella. I've also reviewed this film. I like this film. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I stand by that. One movie I gave an 8 out of 10, but I did not put on here is Halloween Kills, and I'll get to that. I'll actually just talk about that real quick right now. Halloween Kills was the first Halloween film I've seen in the theater. Halloween Kills was a very high rating for me, and definitely one of the best Halloween films, excluding the original. But thinking about it, it did have some serious issues. And when it comes out, when I get it on Blu-ray and or digital, I will rewatch it and I will talk about it again, because there's some things with that doesn't work for me as well as I remember. It was just, same thing with Spider-Man, except Spider-Man actually holds up in my opinion. I've seen that movie twice. It's just recency bias, so it got a high rating and it just doesn't fit in as well. Whereas Cruella, considering Disney's other work, The Lion King, Cinderella, Maleficent, the remakes and stuff, this was higher up on that scale, so I give this one an 8 out of 10, and I still agree with that. It does completely embrace itself. It knows it's not going to be good. It does have some weird CGI, but Emma Stone's performance, it's just like Leonardo DiCaprio in Don't Look Up. A bad movie could have a great performance, which boosts the whole thing. This movie has an incredible performance, it has some great visuals. People don't talk about that. The Disney remakes have some incredible visuals, and this one has some great sound, and it doesn't force itself like other movies like The Lion King do. I love you, Jon Favreau, but it's just no. It's, yeah. So Cruella is much higher than expected. 1776. Free Guy. Oh, that deserves a spot. So Free Guy was a film starring Ryan Reynolds, my man, not Andrew, my second man. Third, behind Timothée Chalamet and Andrew Garfield. But, this movie is such a fun movie. Every now and then I'll change the thumbnail to something Deadpool related, because I do like those movies a little bit. But, yeah, I like Ryan Reynolds. This movie is really funny, and it does have has some incredibly funny moments near the end, and I do not want to spoil this one, because I do recommend it to everyone who is thinking about seeing this. Next up is Encanto. Encanto is a movie that I was not expecting to like. I started off not liking it. I thought it was boring and just tasteless, and then I finished it, and I absolutely loved this movie. I cried, I laughed, I bopped to the music. My favorite song is the Trip, 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 and it never stops. Whoa! I love that. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda. I like Hamilton. I did a Pro Shot review, and it's coming out in January sometime. I like Encanto too. Encanto is a great. It's all bops. I love this movie. It is definitely what came out before this. Good considering like Raya and the Last Dragon, which people were saying was bringing back the Disney magic, and I haven't seen Raya, but I do absolutely love Encanto, and I do recommend it. I think I'm going to make a review on that eventually. The Green Knight. This movie takes a little bit to like. I've seen it once and I was in the theater. I haven't rewatched it. But it's just, the more I think about it, the more I just keep falling in love with it. It is having it's stunning cinematography. Great performance by Dev Patel. Everything is so driven and super, not entertaining, but super engaging and interesting that can just keep you along for this ride of, like, just fun. And not fun. It is a very dark movie, but it is not, if you're expecting a super fast-paced adventure film, this is a very slow-paced adventure film, but it's more of a character essay. Kind of like Joker, but it does have something like great musical, great cinematography, some great performances, some great sound design, and it is definitely very art house fantasy. And I respect this film to the fullest. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I do like it a lot. It is, I haven't seen The Lord of the Rings. I actually fell asleep during Fellowship of the Ring. I was watching the extended edition, and that's maybe 4 hours long. 3 hours long, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, I wouldn't say this film is flawless, because it is not. But it is definitely a really good film. The next film on our list is Tick, Tick, Boom, directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So it's not that I don't like Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's just that when he's on screen, stay behind the cameraman. You can make some really good stuff. Tick, Tick, Boom is an absolutely amazing film. It has some great numbers. It has some great acting by Andrew Garfield, my love and savior. But everything about this film, the music is incredibly catchy, and almost every aspect is lovable. Andrew Garfield's performance, the story, everything is just mwah. And then our runner-up is West Side Story. Now, I did not feel comfortable talking about this movie because it's very politically heavy. But I'll say this. Ansel Elgort, as awful of a person he is, he's an okay singer. His performance is great. Rachel Zegler is absolutely beautiful and wonderful in this film. She has a beautiful singing voice. And the music is really catchy. It does some restructuring from the original stage play. But it has a very interesting story, and I love this film to death. It has a very sad ending. I cried. We all cried. It's a great movie. I've talked this film to death. Number 1 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home is my favorite film of the year, and I think it's pretty clear. I've seen this film twice, once in IMAX. Go see this film in IMAX. It's one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. It does have this is a great work of fan service. It has some great cinematography, great performances. It's great everything. I will recommend this film to death. If you have not seen it, go watch it right now. So yeah, that's my top 10 films of 2021. Now, I'm just going to scroll through my, what I watched in December and just pick out some ones I love. I love Hunchback of Notre Dame. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. I think that's a great movie. La La Land, I love. Home Alone, I watched this in math class, good movie. When the Red Fern Grows, watched it in English, was not a good movie. Cars 2 sucks. The Nice Guys is great. Bohemian Rhapsody is was one of my favorite movies. I used to love it so much that I got the Target exclusive when that was up there, and I'll cover that in the future because I did some studying when that came out. I did not like The Princess Bride. I thought that was a bad movie. It wasn't funny, it was not entertaining, it was just meh. Elf, great movie, one of the best Christmas movies. Wolf of Wall Street was actually pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to be one of those films. I was like, yay! Dead Poets Society, I love this film. In the Heights, I thought was mediocre. Thor Ragnarok is fine, considering Marvel movies. I like the first Thor film, unlike some people, but yeah, I like this film. Polar Express is absolutely terrifying. Sing 2 sucked. Phantom of the Opera at the Royal Albert Hall. is my favorite musical. It's my favorite representation, and Ramin Karimlu, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it's my favorite Phantom. I watched a short film by Paul Thomas Anderson called Anima. Then I watched a Jonah Hill movie, which is bad. I think I didn't. Did I mark it down? I forgot which Jonah Hill movie it was, but it was a Jonah Hill movie, and I hate Jonah Hill. Then I think it was like something like War Dogs at 21 Jump Street. I'm not sure. This is like a few nights ago, and I was really tired, and it was just one I clicked on Netflix. Then Encanto, then Don't Look Up, and then I just started First Man, but I don't think I'm gonna finish it because I think I'm gonna have to try something else. So yeah, if anything changes, I'll cover that a little bit later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay gold, everyone, and let's finish off the year with one of my favorite films of all time. Layla, you are wrong. La La Land. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, stay gold, everyone.